Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my first fall look for you guys. I'm going to use a bunch of affordable products that I've been loving, and yeah, I'm super excited because I don't know about you guys, but I'm like ready for fall. Even though in Texas we really don't get like a real fall season, it's still fall to me. I treat it like I'm getting a real fall season. So before we get started, I would love for you guys to hit that subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell so you know when I put out new content. And yeah, let's get into this fall look using affordable products. Alright guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. The first product I'm gonna use is this Perfector 4-in-1 by Maybelline. This is a mattifying primer. It's also a BB cream. It's also a powder. It's also a concealer. But for me, I use this just as a primer. So we're gonna go ahead and just put this on the center of my face because there's something else that I wanna use for like the outer portion of my face. So I'm just going to place this on the center. I've already put my sunblock on, my skincare on, all that good stuff. As you can see, this stuff blurs like my skin. Right here in the center, you'll see that it looks kind of like I have powder on, but I don't. It's literally this primer. I am gonna use a primer that I have been loving from the drugstore. It's the Essence Fix and Last. This is a really, really good primer for your skin. It gives hydration. It makes the skin feel really refreshed. The consistency is very water-like at first, but if you let it sit, just sit on your skin for a few seconds before you put your foundation on, it will get that tacky feeling to it. So just let it sit for a little while. If you go in too quickly with your foundation, you're not gonna get that same effect. I actually like this one better than the e.l.f. Grip Primer. I like this one a lot better. I feel like this one's a lot more hydrating, and not only that, I just feel like it goes on my skin a lot better. It sinks into my skin a lot better. So yeah, I really love that primer. So for eyes, we're gonna go in with a primer that I really do like from the drugstore, and it's the Wet n Wild Primer. I love this primer all over the eye. It's such a good primer, guys, for such a good price. I do love the NYX Proof It Primer as well, but I don't have that one. I did have one, and guys, I guess I kept it too long because it was like really like kind of stinky and gunky, so I had to throw it away, unfortunately. But this one is one that I've had for a little while, and I use it from time to time. So we're just gonna let that sit a little bit. So now for eyeshadow. Since I'm doing a fall look, I'm gonna be using the Burn palette by Hard Candy. I'm gonna be using this one. I'm also gonna be using a palette that I really, really love, and it's the Milani Ungilded Most Loved Mattes palette. This is one of my favorite palettes that has like the warm tones in it. It's so gorgeous, and it's all matte. So I love this palette. It's very pigmented, it's easy to use, easy to blend, and I especially love these little mini palettes by Hard Candy. These are so inexpensive, and they give like the best color payoff. They really do. So we're gonna use both of these. I'm gonna go in with the Milani palette first, and I'm just going to take a brush. This is a Sonia Kashuk brush, one of my favorite brushes from the drugstore. I buy these at Target. So we're gonna go in with the first shade from this Milani palette. We're gonna go in with Toast of the Town, which is this shade right here, and it's a really beautiful like cream brown shade, and I'm just going to kind of set my entire eye with that. It's not too dark where I can't set my eyes. It's got a nice cream tone to it, so I'm just gonna set all of that primer. I'm gonna go into this shade right here from the Burn palette. Just going to put that in the crease. This brush is fluffy, so you're not gonna get precision with this brush. I use it for certain looks, and today's look is more like a soft look. So if you want a more precise look, you're gonna have to go with something a little bit more tapered. See that shade right there from the Burn palette? So pretty. Very nice, light, kind of like peachy coral shade. I'm gonna take a more tapered brush. I'm gonna take this one, which is a Morphe, what is this? A Morphe 433 brush. We're gonna go into, come on, focus. We're gonna go into this shade called Under the Sun, and I'm just going to put that a little bit more defined in the crease. I love this palette, y'all. This is such a great fall palette. Once that's all blended out, I'm gonna go in with a little bit deeper shade, and I'm gonna go into the Burn palette, and I'm gonna use this shade right here. I'm just gonna concentrate it right here on the edge. I'm gonna go halfway into the crease. I'm not going all the way through the crease, just on the edge and halfway. So I'm gonna take this brush. This is a ColourPop E23 brush. It's a little more, just a little more tapered, as you can see, than the brush that I was using. And I'm gonna go in with a little bit deeper shade on the corner there, and I'm gonna go in with Cinnamon Toast. It's this one right here. And I'm just going to press that just on the outer edge. And when you're pressing it in there, just move it around a little bit so that you can blend it in really well. So for the lid, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here from the Burn palette, and I'm gonna put that on my lid, pressing it in. I don't wanna move it too much. It's got a little bit of micro glitter in it, but nothing too serious. Like I said, I'm just pressing it onto the lid and into that darker shade. We're gonna come back to those shadows in just a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and start with the face. I'm gonna use one of my most loved products here lately, and it's the e.l.f. Halo Glow. This is the Halo Glow liquid filter. This has become like my all-time favorite liquid glow for the skin. I love the Charlotte Tilbury one, but to be honest, guys, this one is so much cheaper and it works a little bit better, in my opinion, than the Charlotte Tilbury. So if you're looking at getting something that's close to the full filter by Charlotte Tilbury, I would definitely try the e.l.f. one. I know this has gone pretty viral. It is sold out, but now they're selling it at Target. So check your local Target. I'm going to use two shades today. I'm going to be using the shade 5 and the shade 6. I love the shade 5 for just glowing up the skin, but I love the shade 6 for kind of bronzing. So I'm going to show you how I use this. I'm going in with shade 5, and I'm just going to press it just on the top here, a little bit down the nose, above the lip, and the chin. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there using this as foundation. I wish that I could use it as foundation, but I can't because I have hyperpigmentation. So I just use it to glow up my skin, and I'm just going to press that into the skin. And you'll see that I get a beautiful glow, and it's so beautiful under foundation, over foundation. You can wear this just like you would the Charlotte Tilbury. This is my favorite because it has a different consistency. I feel like it has a little bit more coverage. It just looks really pretty on the skin. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with shade 6, and I'll show you how I use shade 6. I basically put it on top of my cheeks, just like that, and put it around my forehead. And again, I use this like if it's a bronzer, and then I just blend it into the skin. See, it gives a really warm look to the skin. Isn't that pretty? I'm gonna bring it down my neck a little bit just to kind of match everything. Now that we're done glowing it up, I'm gonna go in with a cream bronzer, and I love this one by Revlon Color Stay. This is so, so good, guys. This is the shade 075. If you are looking at getting the Charlotte Tilbury, the bronzer one, I would definitely try this. If they're sold out, I would try this because it's so, so close to the Charlotte Tilbury one. So I'm just going to put that here, and then I just take a brush and blend it in, and this blends in so well. You see how well it blends? It's just like so creamy. Do a little bit on the nose because I do like my nose to be a little bit bronzed. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with foundation, and the foundation I'm gonna use today is a foundation that I love, love, love from the drugstore, and it is the IRL Filter foundation. This is an F12. I do use a little bit of this green product by Makeup Forever. I know this is not an affordable product, but if you're looking for a green product, you can always look at LA Girl. They have like the different pigments. You can always buy buy that green product. I just happened to get this one because I got it on sales. So yeah, so I'm gonna use this one today. And I put about the same amount of product of the green that I would put of the foundation, so I can get an equal amount of both. And then I just mix it with my finger or anything else that I have around. And then it tones it down to where it's not so warm, and it just creates such a beautiful shade for me. I'll take a brush and I'll just press that into the skin. A little goes a long way with this foundation. I love it because you don't need to use that much. Oh my gosh, it covers so well. I mean, you can barely see my melasma, barely. So for concealer today, I want to go with my NYX concealer. I haven't used this in a while, and I do love this concealer. It's like a serum concealer. It has very nice coverage. It's just really pretty on the under eyes. Just going to pat just like that. I like to take mine a little bit far out too. And then I'm just gonna use a sponge and press that in. Blends like so seamlessly, guys, with a brush or a sponge. It just does a great job, and it just brightens up that under eye. So that's it right there. I'm going to set my face. Before I do, I'm gonna put a little bit, just a tiny bit of Tarte Shape Tape. Of course, Tarte Shape Tape, it is not an affordable product, but it's one of my favorite products for my melasma. And I have not found anything at the drugstore that compares to this, so that's why I continue to use the Tarte. Now I'm going to be using a powder that I recently fell in love with, and it's the L'Oreal 24-Hour Infallible Powder. This is in the shade Golden Sun. Such a beautiful powder on the skin. I love it. I love the consistency of it. I love the coverage of it. It is just so good. I don't know why it took me so long to try this powder. I'm just glad that I finally did. So I'm just going to press that onto the cheeks. I love how it like makes my pores disappear, and it smooths my skin out. It just does a beautiful job. So for under eyes, I've been loving my Undone Banana Bear powder. One of my favorite powders for the under eyes when it comes to drugstore powders. It's just so stinking good. And I'm going to take my puff and I'm just going to pat that underneath the eyes, just like that. For bronzer, I'm gonna go in with my new favorite drugstore bronzer, and it's the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Bronzer in Tan. And this is what the shade looks like. It's gorgeous. And I'm just gonna bronze my skin. This is pigmented, y'all, so be very careful when you're bronzing your skin with it because it is very pigmented. I go in with a very light hand. I don't go too harsh with this because I don't want it to look too crazy. So now we're gonna go into blush, and I have a really nice blush here that's very much a fall blush, and it's by the Joah line. This is in the shade Bright Peony. Now guys, this does not look bright at all. Look at this shade. Doesn't it look like a fall shade? It doesn't look like a bright shade at all. I don't know why it's called Bright Peony, but it is. So we're gonna use a little bit of this. Now I will say that these blushes are very pigmented, so go in with a light hand. I can go a little blush crazy when I put blush on, but I like to tone it down once I put a lot on. I just don't mind having like a lot of blush on my cheeks, but isn't this pretty? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Compared to high-end, guys, honestly, these are like high-end blushes. They're so good. Okay, so the next blush I'm gonna go into, which I love these blushes. These are the Profusion blushes. These are what they look like. We were talking, my daughters and I, and they said they have like Fenty packaging, but they're comparable to the Rare liquid blushes. Honestly, I like these better. I like these better than the Rare Beauty ones. So anyway, I'm gonna use this shade right here, which is called Cosmo, and it's close to the shade that I have on, and I know that I have on a lot of blush right now, but I want to use some liquid blush because I want to show you guys this beautiful shade. This is so beautiful for the fall. Look at that. These are pigmented, so I gotta be careful. But I'm gonna press that onto the cheeks on top of that powder blush, and it literally makes that blush pop more. And the blush is already good, but this stuff makes it pop even more. Look at that. I'll put a little bit on my nose to get like that sunburn look. All right, so now we're gonna tone the blush down. I'm sorry if you hear any noise. My husband's making a shake, so you can probably hear the blender, but we're gonna take this NYX medium. Guys, I already hit pan on this because it's so good. I'm just gonna take it and actually tone down the blush. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows really quick. We're gonna just speed through this, and then we'll come back, do some highlighter and some lipstick. brows are done. We're gonna go back into eyes really quickly. We're gonna go into this shade in the Burn palette, the lighter shade, and I'm just gonna kind of highlight the brow bone. I'm also gonna do a little bit of inner corner highlight, just a tiny bit, just to wake those eyes up a little bit. And then I'm gonna go with a pencil brush, and I'm gonna take this shade right here that's in this palette, and I'm going to run that on my lower lash line, just to add a little bit of color, nothing too crazy. And then we're gonna go in with highlighter, and I've been loving these Essence, the highlighters. I have different shades here. I have one that's like kind of a pinkish shade. This one is kind of like a beigey type shade. This one's more of like a beige tone. And then this one right here is like a nude tone. This one is actually my favorite. This is Sun Showers, but I use this all the time, so we're gonna use this one. This one's called Staggering. I love these because they melt into the skin and they don't look like crazy highlight, you know? You put a little bit on the forehead, just a little bit. I'm gonna set my face first before I put on my lipstick, so we're gonna set with the NYX Bear With Me. All right, so now we're gonna go into lips. I'm gonna use this lip pencil by NYX, and this is in Nutmeg. I'm gonna line my lips. I love this shade for the fall. Nutmeg is so appropriate. The lipstick I'm gonna use today is from L'Oreal. The packaging looks like this, and the shade is 216. And I have really been enjoying this, guys. It's so pretty on the lips and so creamy. And it doesn't have like that, you know, that L'Oreal smell. I don't like the smell of some of the L'Oreal lipsticks. This one is just so smooth. Of course, I'm gonna top it off with some lip gloss by NYX. This is Milky Gloss in Milk and Honey. I'm just gonna put that on the center. I love these glosses, guys. I can't get enough of them. All right, guys, this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna be doing a lot more fall looks here in the next few weeks, so look out for those. And just to let you know, all the products will be listed down below. So take care, and we will see you guys on the next one. Bye.